All right. Every 4th of July, I do something a little differently. And sometimes you get a lot of Cindy, and sometimes today you're not going to get a lot of Cindy. This is really Spirit, even though it's going to sound like it's Cindy. Ready? Although it's going to start with Cindy. Okay. June 30, 2024. Y'all, this question has bothered me for a long time. Where the heck are our pyramids? Where are our pyramids? You go to Mexico? Have you been to Mexico? It's right below the border. There's pyramids near Mexico City. There's pyramids in the peninsula there. There's pyramids all over there. Where are ours? I mean, the terrain in Florida is pretty much the same, is it not, as the terrain where Chichen Itza and Tulum. And then, you know, we got some desert pyramids. We got plenty of desert just right over the border. What happened? What happened to us? What happened to the United States? We have no pyramids. What we do have is Indian mounds, and they're scattered throughout the United States. Indian mounds are mounds where the Native Americans supposedly created these to bury their dead. Under some of the Indian mounds, there are relics of an older society that the Indians have no reference for, no memory of, and no explanation for. But notice what they did. They buried their dead on top of it. This country was wiped out. It was wiped out for a reason. There is no history of an ancestral presence other than the Native Americans who lived in harmony with nature and had no memory of those before them. But there were people before them. There were vast civilizations here, and they're gone. It's almost as if this land was prepared for something brand new. It was completely wiped out. When you think about, and by wiped out I mean cleared and cleaned. When you think about other cultures and countries, most countries have a history of an ancestral presence. They have ancient ruins everywhere, and even though they may not understand all of it, that ancestral presence is a part of their consciousness and a part of how they live. Do you understand? And so they're born and raised and live in this hopper where they're still in a mindset that is has ancient overlapping beliefs in it. So these ancestral forms actually still shape their identity to a certain degree. In Jesus' time, when he came to work with his people in Jerusalem, one of the most difficult things that he had to face was taking his disciples slowly away from the Jewish faith. Because if you'll realize the first couple of years that he was teaching and harmonizing, he was always in the synagogues. They were always honoring the feasts. They were always obeying the laws obey the laws. Toward the last year, he said, I'm not going to go to that feast. You guys go on to that feast, but I'm going to go talk to God. And he started teaching them that God within superseded the laws and rules of the Jewish faith. And the reality is, 30 years after he was killed, the Jewish faith was basically annihilated. The temple was destroyed in 67. There were 3 sieges, but in 67 AD, the temple of Jerusalem was completely destroyed. And there was a vendetta made against the Jewish faith, and they were almost destroyed. They actually had to shift their faith from the sacrificial temple to the rabbis leading in prayer in synagogues. So the Jewish faith had to become totally different in order to survive. If that timing had not been what it was, I wonder if Christianity would have survived, or would it eventually have been sucked back into the Jewish faith. Do you understand? Because there were so many Jewish people still doing the Jewish laws. But when the destruction came, Christianity was completely popped out. Do you understand? Changing our identity from an ancestral space, and the Jewish faith, how long had they been holding their faith? 2,000 years at least. My old little Bible said it was 2,000 years from Abraham to Jesus. That's a long time to be worshiping Father Abraham, but yet it was still a part of their belief system. I hope I'm making my point? Okay. So, the United States was opened to occupy and to create a space where there was no ancestry. There was no place for us to overcome. There was no belief system we had to fight. There was no energy that could tell us who we were. And so it was a place where nature had found balance, and the natives were actually living in balance with that nature harmony. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the beginnings of our country. This is from Spirit. And this is your history lesson. Ready? Okay, first of all, 1607, Jamestown was created. There were 104 men that came. I don't know why they came, but that was the first settlement. Then between 1620 and 1638, all of the religious people came. These were they're not all of them, but the movement started with the Puritans and the separatists, everybody coming here for religious freedom. So we see this idea of religious freedom being brought to the country. I want to believe what I want to believe. I want to speak what I want to speak. I want to worship the way I want to worship. They were persecuted in their local countries for saying things that were against the predominant faith. And in those local European countries, government and religion were pretty much the same. They were extremely intertwined. So if you had a faith that contradicted the government, you were in trouble. If you had a faith that contradicted the religion, you were in trouble. So these people came for the purpose of freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and to see themselves independent. We all know about that, don't we? Okay, this is what I did not know, and Spirit wanted me to make this very clear. That was the gift they brought to us. Those were our ancestors, right? These are our forefathers. Okay, in 1619, a year before the religion people came, the first African men were brought over as slaves, 20 of them. They landed in Virginia. The year before religious freedom came, a group of people came to populate these Americas. And this is what Spirit said. This group of people, although they were brought in against their will, they brought a tenacity to survive like nobody's business. They brought a sense of survival and a sense of identity. No matter who you say I am, I know who I am. It's said that, broad brush, of the 12 million people that were taken over the slave years from Africa, the United States took 4% of them. So we got about 470,000 over this 200-year period. So let's say 1600 to 1800s, or 1700s. It was stopped in 1700s. So 100-year period, we got 470,000 people. When the emancipation occurred, they were estimating 4 million African American slaves were released. 4 million. This is a people with tenacity to survive, a strength. And I know who I am. You don't have to tell me who I am. I know who I am. These are your ancestors. These are your forefathers. That quality they brought is as much a part of our history and building our soul as America as the religious freedom, the ones seeking freedom of speech. You guys with me? Okay. Then we had the debtors. Oh my gosh, those debtors. You know, I've known a lot of people that sit outside the debtor prison door. Just wondering if it's going to open for them someday. But the debtors, you know, they said that Georgia was a penal colony. I don't think it was actually that, they say, but there was a space when a gentleman, Oglethorpe, decided that England had too many people in prison that were dying that were minor offenders. They had debts. You go to prison if you have debts. They had minor things that were overcrowding the prison, blah, blah. So he actually got men to invest in him to take these prisoners out of London and bring them to Georgia, was one of the main places, and a couple other places in the U.S., but Georgia mainly. So these prisoners could pay their debt to society. And the king said, that's a great idea, but they need to pay their debt to me too. So they all became indentured servants so they could work and make money and send money back to the king. So we have this other group of people coming in against their will pretty much, because they knew they'd never go home. Against their will, bringing their karma and having to create a new home while they're dealing with their karma. Those are your forefathers too. People that came in to create a new home in a space that they may not have wanted to go. And apparently it became pretty common, especially in London, when if you were judged in a crime, your sentence was you either go to America or you go to prison, you choose. And you know, if that's the choice, America probably wasn't looked at very happily. I'm not sure if I'm going to prison or America. you know? But they came bringing that consciousness of doing their karma and creating a new reality. Then we have all of the beautiful adventurers, the ones that came to create money, the ones that wanted new lives, the ones that came to be the farmers or the merchants or the big money people. There are a lot of big money people that came wanting to bring in an energy to this country of prosperity for them. For them. Prosperity, achievement, accomplishment. Then y'all know those. Then we had the philosophers, those who were dreaming something bigger, something brighter, something more fabulous. And then we had the level of brotherhood. This is probably one of the first times, and they're all coming at the same time, you guys. When the freedom of religion people got here, they started saying, yes, we want freedom of religion. My religion is free now. Yours isn't. You go over there. You know, not my town, you don't. Go over there. So a man named Roger Williams founded Rhode Island, where every religion would be tolerated. And so his was the first place of toleration. Then William Penn was granted Pennsylvania as a gift from the king. That was his gift. And he said, this is going to be a place where everyone is tolerated. So we had two beautiful colonies being created where there was complete acceptance of who you were. Didn't matter. Religion, otherwise. So we have the idea of brotherhood being created. All right. We have the freedom. We have the brotherhood. We have the debtors. We have the tenacity. Philosophers. So, tenacity to survive, the ability to heal karma and create a new home, to achieve with adventure and prosperity, to love, the freedom of religion, the freedom of choice, the freedom of speech, visionary to dream, the brotherhood, ideal of life. These are the building blocks of the soul of the country, and they are our ancestral building blocks. And this is what Spirit said. Our ancestral building blocks of our country's soul are these. We were not a melting pot. We are a divine mosaic that created an opportunity to become seven chakra man to Christ. Every one of these qualities represents a chakra. Did you catch it? The root, survival, the spleen, building your home, accomplishment through the solar, the heart, freedom of God, loving God, freedom of speech, visionaries and brotherhood. All of the initial founding energies held these energies, and they seem maybe complementary, but some diverse to the others, but they're all moving to create a mosaic of the soul of our country where we can grow. So, in the Masters of the Far East, they speak often about our country. Did you like that from Spirit? What responsibility is ours now? Yeah. The Masters speak often about our country, and they say that this country is the country that was designed to Christ, that we have the opportunity to lead the world in holding the energy of God consciousness and Christing. And you know, when I say to Christ, means to become fully aware that I am God's child. Love is the dominant energy in every one of my chakras, all of my beliefs, all of my energy, all of my world. And I can now use this energy to live as Jesus lived, to move matter, to have oneness with God, to live in that consciousness of being divine, heaven on earth, be in the world but not of the world, to be of that spirit. I'm sure many people have Christed that we don't know about. I know I'm still working on it and feel my humanness very often. But I know the potential and the divinity is within. And we are seeking to let it express in all ways. They always honored the people from America because our country has a choice. We're not bound by ancestor. We're not bound by obligatory to any one faith or one path. We are open to choose. And I wanted to share what Jesus said right before he was crucified. This is the last week. This isn't that moment, but this is the last week that he's walking on the earth. And he's talking to the people of Israel, of Jerusalem. And he's telling them, they're debating about this or that or the other, and he's trying to teach them and teach them and teach them. And this is what he says. I tell you, men, the kingdom shall be snatched away from you and shall be given unto a people who are not a people now, and to a nation who is not a nation now. And men whose speech you cannot understand will stand between the living and the dead and show the way to life. The first time I read that, I knew it was us. I knew that was who we are. The people not a people then, a language you do not understand. I knew that was us. And I wanted to share with you guys, we're still in our Pluto return, by the way. The United States is still in it. We're going to retrograde back into it in September. Okay. This is the Bill of Rights. This was written in 1789, 13 years after 1776. Amendment number 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Congress will not get involved in the way you worship or prohibiting the free access of it. You are able to worship whatever you want to do. They will not abridge freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble, or to petition the government for grievances. In the First Amendment to the Bill of Rights is the foundation of what we were created on, just the very first one. The rest of them become, complicated, that makes sense for that day and time. We don't have militias anymore, that day and time. But the first one represents the energy of the building blocks of the soul that we came to participate in. Whether we have the blood of any of these people in our consciousness, we have their energy in our souls. So I ask Patrick to channel a blessing to us from Jesus today. So he's going to share that with you now.
So in my morning meditation, I wanted to get real clear so I could hear the voice of Jesus. And so this came from my communion this morning, and so it's not Patrick. So I want you to just close your eyes and hear Jesus speaking these words to us this morning. Blessings, my Inner Quest family. I bring you a message of love from our Father God. You are all my beloved children, in whom I am well pleased. The Inner Quest family is more than you can understand. The love that is here far transcends thought and the limits of race consciousness. This spiritual family is a seed of love that is beginning to blossom in the garden of life. You all have the opportunity to support one another in this love. And in doing this, you support the transformation in love that is happening on planet Earth at this time. Seek to see daily the love in one another, and the wave of love grows, expanding far beyond the boundaries of this property. The living of love and light in God's will and in our Father is well pleased. Your mission statement, "The path begins in the heart," is your key to unlock the door to your destiny. Embrace each day knowing how loved you are, and your vision will pierce this illusion, revealing the unconditional love you are is your mission. I leave you with the words I gave my disciples. Love one another as I have loved you. I am with you always. Amen.
Thank you, Patrick. So, realizing the opportunity that is ours on this earth plane, realizing the opportunity that is ours as individuals. You all have heard me speak many times about the next couple of years will be very, very interesting. And it is ours to just hold the light of what's true for us. And as we hold that light, we impact and create our reality, no matter what anybody's saying about us. We hold on to the tenacity, we make our homes, we invest our energies, we love, we speak, we let our visions grow, and we know our brotherhood. We stand in that, no matter what is happening. And then that reality becomes an exponential space of God love on planet Earth. Well, let's take this within. So just put your feet on the floor. Take a breath. Father, Mother God, first of all, we love you so. And we are so grateful for this plan, this long, long plan that we are all a part of. We are grateful for this moment where we can be a participant in love. And I want you to breathe and see a beautiful column of light that comes over you and feel your energy, feel who you are. Your world is an opportunity. If there is any sense of burden, take a breath and sweep it away. I'm here to contribute. My world is filled with opportunity. I am free to desire. Breathe that in. I am free to desire. Feel light coming into you. If there's any doubt or fear, sweep it away. Let it go. And at the highest level, I know we are brothers and sisters. No matter what it appears to be, we are children of God at the highest level. We breathe in that love of God for transforming energy to go to bless every heart. And now let your focus go to your heart. Feel the great love within you. And just imagine for a moment you can just step into that beautiful garden in your heart. And I want you just to move there, and in your heart just say, I am. I am the divine child, here by divine appointment. And I am love. Breathe and let that love move through you as it just rushes through the garden, through your arc field. And just allow your focus to stay. Father, Mother God, it is our prayer that each one be guided to their right and perfect and most joyful space to share their gifts, their talents, and their love with the world. Easy, gently, obstacles melting. We choose to share our light, and we are blessed for this. And we thank you. And just feel that beautiful love of Jesus Christ with you as you're gently guided back into this moment in time. Feel the chair that holds you, feel this room, and feel your heart open. And take a breath. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. And I will leave you with this. The one thing that Spirit wanted me to remind us all of is, in order to do this, what we are about to do, what we have been doing, it takes courage. And courage is the strength to persevere without the knowing the outcome. The strength to persevere. We know what we're creating will happen, but we do not know when, where, how, why, or if we'll be around when it does. It's the courage to go forward and step into investing our energy in a space that we're guided to invest our energy in. So, you feeling courageous? All right. I'm going to ask you to play with me today, David, Patrick. So, because we love to play, we're going to send our light to the United States. Would that be fun? We're going to send our light to everybody in our country, just our country today. So you can have, girls would have already been out here, by the way. We're on it. Guys, talk. There. Come on. Yeah. Come on, David. So you can take either a fan or a whirligig. And we're going to send it, we're going to use our breath, and we're going to send it out. So everybody take one. Go boys, go boys, go boys, go boys, go boys, go boys. Well, one of you can start at the front. Don't you wish you were here, guys? We're going to send our love to the world. So you guys out there, just stay with us. We're going to take a deep breath. We're going to send our light to the world. Okay, have them both. 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 Double love. Here we go. Okay, you guys ready? I need a whirligig. What do you want? Is that the last one? Okay. Okay, so everybody got something? David, you got something? Okay. So this is what we're going to do. If you've got a whirligig, give me a fan for a second. We're going to use our breath to blow it. If you're just using your fan, you can do this with your energy. Okay, ready? You guys, feel that love in your heart, and we're going to send our love, our precious love, through our breath to this representation of our country. And as we send it, it's going to every soul. Ready? Breathe. Let's go. Da 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 da. Fun, 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 fun. All right. This is your beginning of your celebration. So as you go forward this week, you guys, take your little fun stuff with, make lots of noise. Remember, you love this country. You're glad you're here. It's your opportunity to shine your light. And ultimately, we are going to Christ. Say, yay, God. Yeah. So it is.